So I just watched Spider-Man No Way Home, and it was epic. I have a giant grin on my face. The movie itself was so well done, well made, and it was fantastic. Uh, the score was good. It was just a great movie. And if you haven't seen the movie, I strongly advise you to see it because it's really good. And also, just watch the movie before you watch the video because this video is going to have a lot of spoilers in it. So yeah, let's get started with the review. So basically, the movie starts off with like the post credit scene from Far From Home, and Peter's identity's been revealed. His life sucks, and the movie basically goes into how it affects Aunt May, Ned and MJ. Ned and MJ, because they know Peter, they can't go into college now. Aunt May can't go anywhere without being harassed. Happy lost all connections to Stark Technology because Stark Technology made the drones basically, like Tony Stark made them, so now they're in trouble. And Peter can't go anywhere without being called a murderer, basically. So then Peter, because Ned and MJ can't get into MIT. Oh, and before I talk about that, Matt Murdock literally just shows up in the middle, like in the first 5 minutes as Peter's lawyer, and he was epic. Like he was in like half a minute or like 1.5 minutes. He was so good in the movie. Like he was like let's just say a great lawyer. But because Ned and MJ couldn't get into MIT, Peter went to Doctor Strange, and he was like, "Oh, my friends can't get into MIT because they knew me. So can you make a spell so that everyone forgets Peter Spider-Man?" And Doctor Strange's like, "You know what? Whatever." And Wong's like, "Fine, but I don't want to be a part of this." So he just goes somewhere. It looks like he goes to the Great Wall of China, like that place in China, but I'm not sure where. So then he conducts a spell, but Doctor Strange refers to Peter tells Peter that every single person in the world, Ned, MJ, even they are going to forget Peter Spider-Man. And then Peter's like, wait, can they remember? And can everyone remember? And then that just screws up the spell. Like, can everyone I knew remember who's Spider-Man? That just screws up the spell, basically. And then, basically, Peter goes to some MIT teacher to ask it because the spell failed. He goes to some MIT teacher to ask if Ned and MJ, not him, but Ned and MJ could at least get their college or MIT admissions. And then out of nowhere, Alfred Molina's Doc Ock comes. Like he comes literally out of nowhere, but he's like, Peter, what? He thinks it's Tobey Maguire Spider-Man, I guess, and then just fights him. Tom Holland, like Peter Parker, beats him, and then the MIT teacher, because Peter saved her life, he's like, I'm gonna give you an admission, like give you MJ and Ned a second chance in MIT. Let's go or something. And then Green Goblin appears, and he's about to like punch Peter in the face or something. And then the screen fades black. Doc Ock's in a prison. Lizard's in a prison. Every other character is not there. And then Doctor Strange is like, you screwed up the spell, and now the multiverse is broken. People who know Peter Parker Spider-Man are coming in. So then he tells Peter to put all the other 5 villains in the cage, like their cells, and then he can go off to MIT. So he finds Electro, then Sandman, puts him in a prison, then Green Goblin, who becomes Norman Osborn again, and then acts Doctor Strange puts him in a prison. And they say they're all going to die, and Peter feels bad, because he should, because it's not good to die. And then basically Doctor Strange's like, it's their fate and all. And Peter's like, nope, I'm not going to do that. And then they fight in the mirror dimension for a little bit, and Peter has trapped Doctor Strange in the mirror dimension using geometry, which is really funny, actually. And then, uh, and like Peter tries to create a cure for all of them, but then Goblin overthrows Norman in his own body, and then Goblin kills Aunt May. Peter's sad. And then he runs away. Ned and MJ try to find him, and they bring Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, who've also been transferred into Tom Holland's universe. And these scenes were epic. Like ever since Aunt May died, like the first half was good, really good to think about it. Like it shows good consequences of Peter's life and how his mistakes and the world's false identifying mistakes can lead to so much pain. But the second half is just so much better. It shows Peter struggling. Toby and Andrew are so well conducted and well acted, and they're able to help, like Tom Holland Spider-Man, be like, "Yeah, we get what you're going through, kid," basically, and it is so entertaining. Like the final like they create cures for the villains, and the final battle is so fast-paced and entertaining, and it's funny and it's heartfelt at the same exact time. And the ending, where he has to make that sacrifice to make everyone forget who he is, not just forget that he's Spider-Man, forget who he even is so sad to watch, but that's the only thing Peter could do, so he does it. And it's so like, you feel bad for the kid. And it's so emotional, heartfelt, and funny that you can just get through it. Toby and Andrew were great. All five villains were great, but Willem Dafoe as the Green Goblin was he was he was like really, really, really good. Like I was speechless with his performance. It was better than his performance in the 2002 movie, hands down. He acted so much more maniacal, and I'm not saying he was bad in the 2002 movie. He was great, but here he was just better, in my opinion, a little better. But I don't care. He's better. He was so much more maniacal, and he reminded me of the Joker so much. Like his laughs, and it was weird. And then at the end, they cure all the villains. So the main theme of this movie is, or at least a big moral: don't kill, cure. I guess something like that. And that's who Spider-Man is. So that also gave me a lot of good like ideologies about the film, because it was good, and the ending worked, and the two post-credit scenes. I thought the Venom one was just okay, but the Doctor Strange one, let's just say, it was really good. And then that's it, the film. But the film was really good. Toby and Andrew, like, I'm just going to talk about some stuff that, like, some of the good stuff. Toby and Andrew were fantastic. The five villains were fantastic. Um, uh, Aunt May's death implications on Peter was fantastic. Uh, the fight sequences, especially the first Doc Ock fight, was like great. Willem Dafoe, the Green Goblin, phenomenal performance. The ending made me almost cry. Not, it didn't make me fully cry, but almost cry. Like, there's so many good things about this film that I could go all day just talking about it. But there's also some bad things or not great things. I think Matt Murdock should have been in it a lot more. I wanted to see, instead of just the multiverse directly, I wanted to see more of Peter's struggles. Like, I didn't just want Peter saving these villains. I wanted to see more of his struggles. Also, I would have really liked to have a more condensed like reason for the villains coming back, except Peter wouldn't shut up. Yeah, like that doesn't make any sense. And the first half, although it's really good and entertaining, the jokes don't work for me. And compared to the second half, it's just much worse. But it's good. It has, just compared to what comes after, I just can't ignore it because it's not nowhere near as good. So that's a small issue. It's not a big issue. So overall, my score for this film is an easy 10 out of 10. It has its issues, but at the end, it does what a good Spider-Man movie should do, and in my opinion, is easily the best Spider-Man movie to date. When it comes to video games and live action or animated, it's just so good. So the movie gets a 10 out of 10. I don't really like it, is too good to be true, but it has its issues, I'll admit that. So that's my review for Spider-Man No Way Home. And if you agree with me or disagree with me, just tell me what you think in the comments down below. And like, see you all in the next video.